Hi, my name is Tamara Rab, and I'm here to talk to you about the disability that I chose. I chose blindness, which is also known as the visually impaired. Some of the characteristics of blindness includes physical signs, so whether you can see the kids have crossed eyes, or they have eyes that turn out, eyes that flutter from side to side or up and down, and then those eyes that just don't seem to focus. Clumsiness is another characteristic. If a child is having a vision problem, they often appear to be overly clumsy, and then that poor vision goes hand in hand with them running into things, and it's just because they cannot tell how far of a distance things are, whether they're too close or too far, and they tend to run into them. And then lastly, the behavior. Children may blink frequently or squint when they read or watch television. And then as you can see, the young boy inside of the picture, he's really close to the television because he cannot see. What is blindness? Blindness is defined as a state of being totally sightless in both eyes. A completely blind individual is unable to see at all. Blindness differs from all of the other disabilities because it can be hereditary. It can be passed on genetically. It can be something that when the baby's in the womb, um, they just don't fully develop. And it's also different because typically blind students will attend special schools. They're known for schools for the blind, which is strictly prohibited to completely blind students. And blindness is not something that can be outgrown. So, one of the things that I took into consideration is all of the other disabilities that we have been studying, like autism or ADHD. I know ADHD, as the student gets older, they can calm down and they grow up and they kind of mature and they no longer have ADHD. Blindness is not something like that. It's not something that you have when you're younger, and then you can't be blind as an infant, and then you get your vision back as an adult unless you undergo some numerous amount of surgeries. And then this disability is often detected long before they go to school. So autism, ADHD, those are typically disabilities that are learned by the teachers or by parents when the student is in the classroom, and then blindness is often detected by age 2. The history of being blind. The first blind person was John Dalton, and he self diagnosed himself as being a blind person. And blindness can be genetic or inherited and is often diagnosed by age 2. And then with the thorough eye exam conducted by an optometrist, that will give the proper diagnosis of whether or not a person is blind. And then people with eye disease like macular degeneration, glaucoma, people with diabetes, premature babies, and people who have suffered from stroke are all at risk of being blind. Over to the left, we have a little bit of history. So, pretty much what it says is back in the primitive times, which was way before our time, blind people were just not useful. So, they were pretty much the babies were abandoned and left to die. Um, the Some of the blind men were sold in slavery. Some women were sold to be prostitutes. And then by the Middle Ages, they were finally like, okay, that's enough. These people are still a part of our society. And then that's when things became a little better for them. And they started making all different types of programs and diagnosis and trying to fix what they seen as the issue of being blind. The prevalence. So with the prevalence, I didn't see anything about whether or not it's more common in boys or girls. I seen something that stuck out to me was that approximately 3/4 of the world blind children, they live in the poorest regions of Africa and Asia, and it doesn't say why, so it's kind of a question that I've been researching on my own. um, I'm not sure why poverty has so much to do with students being blind. Instructional strategies. So strategies to promote literacy for children with blindness or vision impairment. I chose four. My favorite two were to provide books and literacy tools in a format that is accessible to the child. So in the classroom, this would look like if I had blind students, I would have the materials to give my blind students the same, like a Braille book that would mimic the regular textbook that is used in the classroom. And then I also chose the read aloud using stories and books that are interesting and appropriate for the child. So in a classroom, that would look like the teacher reading aloud and all of the children being able to visualize and follow along. The parents' bibliography, I chose wonderbaby.org, and I really, really like this website because it was a great resource for parents with blind students. This website informs the parents of different outreach organizations to find all different types of programs, aids, resources, and supports for parents and their students. And then lastly, on the very, very front page of the website, it offers a support blog where, let's say, I just found out my child was diagnosed to be blind and I just had a couple questions or I wanted to reach out for some support, I can write on there and I see that they're very active with the responses. It kind of reminds me of our discussion boards that we have in the classroom. Next, I have the brailleworks.com, and I liked this website because it keeps parents informed of the different programs and activities, like different summer camps and different activities that they can do to enhance their child's knowledge and educational experience. And then it also keeps them updated with their rights and the laws with them being parents of students who are blind. And the teacher's bibliography, I chose nfb.org, and I would recommend this website to my fellow teachers because it updates the rights, responsibilities, and laws pertaining to the students, their teachers, and their parents, which is very, very important because it takes a village. If I have a blind student, I would love to be in contact with their parent on a daily basis, and I would love for their parent to be kept in the loop with everything that their child is doing, whether they're falling behind or their progress. And I kind of feel like this website gives the parents a sense of their students' rights. It also shows the teacher how to get a hold of their state affiliate if needed. And then lastly, it gives teachers resources like summer programs to keep their students and the parents informed. And then the next website I chose is the afb.org, and I would recommend this website because it gives teachers a heads up on how to deal with certain situations. A lot of us in this classroom have never been teachers and we don't know what to expect, especially with being a teacher with the special education and dealing with these disabilities. This is a great website that you can look on to see what types of materials that you need. It also shows you how to get Braille certified if you need. It just keeps the teachers in the loop, which is always great. And then my resources page. And thank you.